2024 is creeping up around the corner, and because of that, I've been looking at old Miiverse posts I made back in 2014. And also, May of 2024 will mark 10 years since I started uploading videos onto this channel, so all in all, 2024 is going to be a pretty sentimental year for me, but anyway, back to the Miiverse posts. They're nostalgic, but at the same time, they make me cringe a lot. I was 13 when I wrote these posts, and so many of them were me posturing about how I was supposedly more mature than a lot of other kids who are part of my generation. I would always talk about how I don't behave the same way they do, I'm not into a lot of the same things they're into, which the latter is still very much true. I don't really listen to a lot of the same music that my generation listens to, or keep up with a lot of the trends that my generation keeps up with. I don't use a lot of the same vernacular, and I never got the appeal of TikTok, but I don't puff my chest out about this shit anymore. Because at the end of the day, who gives a fucking shit? I don't relate with a lot of Gen Z, but that's not my defining personality trait. But on the internet, I have come across quite a few other Gen Z folk who are like, I don't act the same way a lot of other Gen Z folk act. I'm special. I want to clue you in on something. As someone who used to brag about how mature they supposedly were. You're not fucking mature. Going on the internet and bragging about how supposedly mature you are is an immature act. It is just you wanting so desperately to score brownie points from strangers online. When you do shit like this, you are nothing more than an insufferable douchebag. Classic rock comment sections are full of this shit. I am 17 years old, and I don't listen to Cardi B, I listen to Pink Floyd. Good for you! I like Pink Floyd too, but you want to know what I don't think of when I listen to Pink Floyd? Cardi B or any other artist I don't like. Because why the fuck should I? I'm listening to my favorite band of all time, so why should I remind myself of music I don't like when I should instead be focusing on the music I'm currently listening to that I love so much? When the Comfortably Numb solo drops, I'm not thinking, why do people like Taylor Swift? They should be listening to Pink Floyd instead. Ah! It makes me wonder if these people really are fans of classic rock, or they just want to use classic rock artists as a way to posture over how they're supposedly so much better and above the rest of their generation because they choose to listen to this kind of music instead. It is fine to feel out of step with the majority of your generation. Like I said at the beginning of this video, I feel out of step with the majority of my generation. But do not for one fucking second think that makes you special, cool, something you have to brag about so goddamn much. Because I don't give a fuck, and neither does a lot of other people. The only group of people I could imagine giving a fuck are the boomers, who constantly whine all day about how the younger generations are supposedly the decay of our civilization. If you want to sound like a 50-plus-year-old douchebag, then be my fucking guest, but do not expect me or a lot of other people to give you a pat on the back because you're such a special little sunflower who is so different from the rest of their generation. Here's another thing I really fucking hate. Whenever a video goes viral of someone who is part of Gen Z saying or doing something really stupid, you get a lot of other people who are part of Gen Z in the comment section saying shit like, yep, humanity is doomed, this is our future. I am part of Gen Z, but I would never say or do anything this fucking stupid, but this is the majority of our generation, so therefore we have no chance in the future. Gen Z started in 1997, meaning a lot of us are still in our early 20s, or fuck, even under 20. I myself am 22, I'm gonna be 23 in March. We are still in our youth, we are still dumb. Our brains don't fully develop until like, what, age 25, 26? Yeah, sure, there's quite a few videos out there of people saying things or engaging in things that is common sense to not say or engage in, but there are dumb fucks in every generation. You really don't think if social media existed, there wouldn't be a plethora of videos of baby boomers when they were our age engaging in or saying stupid fucking things too? Of course there would be, because they were young and dumb just like us at a point in time as well. They just didn't have social media to put a magnifying glass on bad behavior back then. Social media has a knack of extrapolating bad behavior and making it seem like more people engage in it than there really are. It is rage bait, and do not fall for it hook, line, and sinker. Anyway, every generation, while it is still young, has older generations constantly berating it. Every generation gets older and out of touch, and when they can't relate with the younger generation anymore, they think that disconnect is not at the fault of them just getting older and having different interests, but the supposed stupidity of the younger generation. It's really just the older generation not wanting to come to grips with the fact that they're getting older. What were the boomers when they were our age? Weed-smoking hippies. And what did the older generation think of them? They thought of them as lazy tree huggers who wouldn't amount to anything. Sound familiar? Gen Z is not unique in the sense that we are perceived as stupid and older people think that when we get in charge, society is going to collapse. Every generation, while it is still young, has the same thing thought about it. So you don't have to act like you're so special because you don't relate with a lot of Gen Z. So can you stop acting so goddamn insufferable when you talk about your own generation, please? That's just wishful thinking, I know. Anyway, that's all I have to say. Bye-bye.